What's up, dude? Thanks for coming on.
Hello.
Hey,
Thank you for having me.
Jenna, we have so much in common, and we barely see each other because we're so well. You're in somewhere in New Jersey. I don't know specifically where, but I'm in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but we've shared the stage 3 or 4 times together in our bands. We have rad tattoos,
Yeah.
and we both played Warped Tour, which is something not a lot of
Yeah.
people can actually really say that he did, which is cool that we have
Yeah.
that, that privilege and that honor.
Oh God, yeah. It's so funny, like me and the guys we literally talk about it like all the time. We're still not over it. It's been almost a year and oh my God, what an awesome experience. I'll
Yeah.
never forget that.
How long was your set? I think we roughly had 35-minute sets, or excuse me, 30-minute sets. And you guys were on the Full Sail stage in AC, so I'm pretty sure you guys had a significant amount of time to play with.
Yeah, so well what they ended up doing was like our stage was one of those stages, when it was next to another one and they would just go like
Hmm.
right, left, like, you know, like bang them back and forth. So, I think we had like the same like 35, 40 minutes around there,
Oh.
which was a lot more than we were expecting.
Hmm.
I thought we were going to get like 20 minutes, like 4 or 5 songs, and then get out. But no, they gave us a good amount of time up there, which is really cool.
And it was packed. It looked like from what I've
Yeah.
seen. I wasn't personally there. I was in a little bit of a depression, so I just didn't show up to Warped Tour. But
Oh,
that's not the point. Well, that's okay. It was just like I
oh,
miss these days. I want to go back. But yeah, it looked packed. I mean, AC was completely sold out. I think they sold out like twice. I forget how they ran the tickets, but
yeah. Like, okay, so originally, like how it happened, like before we knew we were playing, I actually bought a ticket for myself. Like they went on sale. Like I bought a ticket because I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna go. It's an EC. Like I I thought we were so lucky in general just to get a date that it was like the 25th anniversary, and they only did California, Ohio, and Jersey, and I was like, damn, why Jersey? Like I get it in my mind because like I know like the Jersey dates like Camden and Homedale. This area always sold really well, and I guess like they thought like, oh, the beach would be awesome, and um yeah, it was like it sold out, and I bought tickets, and then we got the slot, and I was like, okay, I gotta sell my ticket now. But I ended up giving it to my mom, and
that's cool.
yeah, it was. Oh my God, it was every time like we looked up, there was more people there, and we got really lucky because we were right by the entrance,
Hmm.
so all the people flooding in, and like we like opened. There was like Save Face played, and then we played. So like the show literally just started, and like the line was just walking in, and there was people like stopping, that had no idea who were just walking in, and were just like, hey, like this is cool, and then decided to watch. Which to get someone to do that is really really hard.
Hmm.
Obviously for us, like being on both sides, like on stage and off stage, like to catch a band that you have no idea and then be like I'm into this, I'm gonna stay, like that's means a
It
lot.
means you're doing something right. It means your music's great. It means you guys, enjoy what you're doing on stage. I mean, we had the same thing too out of 10 days. So some of them were in the front of this. It's like, it's funny when you play local shows. Like when we play local shows, everybody's like, I don't want to fucking go first. Like nobody's going to fucking be here by now. But when you're on the Advanced Warp Tour, we would play first as well. Unless,
Start of the day, everyone has energy, everyone's like chilling, so
yeah, everybody's like low beat at the local show. And then when it comes to like a Warp Tour, everybody's so hyped, ready to get into the gate, especially for the 25th anniversary. Fuck, like everybody
yeah.
had like a good time there, and
Oh my God.
like you said, yeah, they're stopping watching like and see you guys perform. Like that's an honor, dude. Like it's just,
Yeah.
it's
It really was like dream come true too, because like I can totally say that Warp Tour was like such like a staple in like me wanting to do music. His the first year I went, I was like 13, so and I went every year since. I never missed a Warp Tour. Sometimes I would go to multiple dates in a year, like if I could manage it. Like, um, so like when it happened, and like we had tried to do like all the contests, like the Battle of the Bands for Warp Tour, like the online thing, and we never even like got close, never got a shot, and like just the fact that it happened now was like, and that it was the 25th anniversary, like last Warp Tour, who knows, but
mm-hmm.
um, the just how it fell into place like that, it was just, oh my God, I still I can
Getting
still
chills
remember like when we
probably. Yeah.
yeah, like when we found out, like we were freaking out, and like that, like, the months leading up to that, like, the band, we must have celebrated like 30 times. Like, anytime we hung out, or like, yo, let's get drinks, let's like make food, let's celebrate. Like, it was just a whole big thing. Like, and we're still not over it.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're all talking about it.
You're never gonna get over it. You're never gonna get over it.
No.
And like, you played one of the bigger ones. So when I had, when I had the privilege of interviewing Kevin, before that, the 25th anniversary, and like I think 2005 Warped Tour were like the only years that they actually made a profit off of ticket sales alone. So that's obviously saying this is a huge deal. And you guys got to play, one quality festival in its sorts, which is what it seemed like it'd be, or that it was, like California, Ohio, Jersey.
It was awesome. I will say though, it definitely a different vibe from other Warped Tours, because one, you're on the beach, and like the site was huge. Like Warped Tour, like where it's pretty big. But this one was like, to walk to one end to the other, it was like it took like some time, especially if you were going through the crowds of people, like very big operating site. So there were some things, you could see the oceans. That was like weird. It was nice, but it's just like all these kind of little factors. And, it was fun to be like, when the night was over, like go in the casinos like that, that was like a thing that I guess, the casual or the normal Warped Tour, thing would be like the after party barbecue thing, which would have been cool to experience too. But casinos, I'm like, all right, it's all good.
Yeah, it's still fun. The same. They did that in Vegas, I'm sure. I mean, that was probably their after party. But it's just for us going every other. Well, I would go like every other year. However, it's just not seeing a black top, not seeing asphalt for the first time was probably like, this is. Where are we?
Yeah.
This is a Warped Tour.
That was nice. And of course, like we didn't have a brutally hot summer that year, but of course that freaking day, that weekend was so hot. But I will say, the fact that you weren't on concrete, just in a parking lot, that definitely, you got the ocean breeze, made it a little easier for sure.
Yeah, the vibe was just like completely at a chill moment. And you were, which day were you on? 1 or 2? Because I know they had 2 days. For Jersey.
The first one we did Saturday.
And then did you go Sunday as well?
Yeah, we stayed for the weekend.
Dude, you guys even did the hyper day, like the first day of Jersey. So I mean,
yeah,
you guys went out like bandits.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I still don't know how the heck it happened, but we got really lucky, and I would like to think we made the most of it. Just it's great. I could talk for hours. We can make this whole episode just about playing Warped Tour, because I don't even care. Like when it happened, like I tried to be like, like chill about it, like, oh, like no big deal, but like no, like it was such a big deal, and just felt, full circle moment.
Yeah,
is like the best way to put it.
You could get that,
especially like.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Like, no, it's okay. I was just saying, just like standing up there, like I don't know, it was awesome.
But you can get that fresher breath there. You guys work so hard. I kind of I'm jealous of the way the Ones You Forgot kind of, pushes the boundaries with how you guys go about being proactive with the band. Like if you're a musician right now and you're watching this podcast or you're listening to it and you're an aspiring musician, you want to be in a band, I just take in the Ones You Forgot is work ethic. It's unbelievable. Even during the pandemic, you guys are on Twitch streaming, playing, Star Wars Battlefront 2, which I tune in every so often, and then you guys. You're always making an effort to put yourselves out there to, just to be a part of the community, which is basically something you guys built. Because every time we play a show with you, you guys would always invite us on. We're like, of course we're going to fucking play with you guys. We have a good time every time we play with each other. Have you guys been writing? Has everybody writing during the pandemic? Like how are you guys holding up with everything?
Yeah, well, it was, like, for everyone, everything kind of felt like it happened overnight. It was like, all the plans you kind of had just crumbled like that. And, fortunately, we're in a situation, we're all healthy, our family's healthy, everyone's safe. Mm-hmm. So we really got lucky with that. But, like we had plans, we had a weekender plan. So we had to cancel that, cancel some dates. We had a song that was, had a date picked and everything, like it was ready to go. And then we kind of had to switch gears and like shift, like, everything.
Yeah, seriously.
So like, fortunately we didn't have to change too much because, this summer we wanted to just like write and chill because like Justin, is having a baby, so we're like, like we'll
Congrats to
just chill
him.
for the summer. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so cool. It's so crazy. I can't believe it's happening, but I've known forever now at this point, but it's so wild. So, but anyway, like we were planning to just stay low for the summer anyway, and then come back for the fall and, put out new music again and do that whole thing. But yeah, staying proactive, it's weird. Everyone's kind of like just taking like this pivot now and is trying to find, a new way to interact with their fans and their audience and everything. And Twitch is something that I think a lot of bands are doing now, but it just seems so natural to begin with, just because we all are like gamers to begin with. So
yeah, for sure.
that that worked out nicely. And we also work with, which I'm sure you've seen us post about it all the time, with G Fuel, and since they focus on esports and everything, it made so much sense to do it anyway. What it turns into after the world goes back to normal, I don't know. I would like to think that we keep doing it and just make it a normal thing. But yeah, it's times right now. It's just a lot of things you're going to be doing kind of seem unconventional. Like, they're not the normal thing, but for right now, it is like a new normal.
Yeah, for
that
sure.
Makes sense.
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
So like I guess we just tried to think of ways that we can keep it, just to be able to communicate with everybody and, just find a way to make things a little, less heavy right now. Cause, when we're on Twitch, we're just goofballs. We're just literally ourselves. Just like, these are like our PlayStation parties, like when we're just, when no one's around. So it kind of just makes everything a little, for the chaotic times, it makes it a little nicer, I guess. But like I said before, it's really just trying to be creative, and every band is doing it right now, like trying to find those ways to reach out to their audience and just, keep them interested and, just hang out with them and, whatever it may be. Everyone's trying to, do it right now. And especially, like I was saying with Twitch, like live streaming is like obviously the really big thing right now, which, I felt like live stream was already, on the up and up. Like it was something that was becoming, a normal thing. But now, especially, like I wouldn't be surprised now if like more companies, like more startups happen that are like, we focus on live streaming, like there's going to be, I feel like, a lot more businesses built around it, and especially, the whole working remotely and everything. But yeah, everyone's just pivoting, trying to find their way, and a lot of it's going to be trial and error. So
yeah, true. You guys might continue the streaming, after everything's done, because we've been speculating when shows are going to be coming back, and then now they're saying it's going to be probably about around like 2021. I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
Nobody knows
We have no
anything.
idea.
Like we haven't heard anything from scientists. Everything that we mostly hear is politics. It's like, so it's just everything's up in the air at this point. But if it's worst case scenario 2021 and shows come back, you guys are probably still doing it. I mean, it's just something that you guys also enjoy as well, and G Fuel fuels it. I would no pun intended, but like, it's just something that like you're just taking advantage of, and like you're connecting with everybody who follows you guys. You're not just leaving them in the dark during these times, and like they're literally hanging out with you, like while you guys are playing Battlefront 2 or other video games, maybe Destiny. I'm waiting for that to happen. So Matty T, get on that. Let's go, bud.
Me and Ferd are the only ones who play Destiny, so it's like a little hard, but. And the reason we did Battlefront that one day is because it was May the 4th.
Absolutely.
And, like, we were trash. We're like, guys, we're never doing that again. We got destroyed every match.
That's all right.
But, yeah, I don't know. It's just, like, it was one of those things we wanted to do in general, but then when this all happened, we're like, guys, we have no excuse. Like, we got to pull the trigger on this and just do it. Like, we've said we wanted to forever. What's stopping us now? We literally are not playing shows. Like, we're not going anywhere. Like, there's just no reason for us not to. So we said, let's do it. And it's been fun so far. We've only had a few streams, so we're still really new to it. But the thing that's cool too is Matt's little brother is like really good with that stuff. Like he streams himself. He knows all the tech and like has like the killer PC and all that. So he's been helping us a lot too. If we didn't have him, it probably would have been a train wreck. But
that's super cool.
It's been going really well. So we'll see. Like, it's just one of those things. We're doing it, and we'll see see where it goes, see where it leads.
Are you gonna go back to audio pilot for these new singles, or whatever your next musical tracks that you're gonna be releasing in the future? Are you guys gonna go
Yeah,
back with Rob Freeman?
yeah, for
Love that
sure.
dude.
So like we did like the single that is kind of in the air, but it's gonna be out soon. We kind of have a plan now. So
Cool.
that one we did with him, and then we have a few other songs that we're gonna kind of put together later on for an EP album, whatever it may turn into. Um, but yeah, we're gonna keep going back to him. It's just it's made so much sense for right now. And we work really well with them.
I
So
was gonna say,
figured,
yeah, you find
yeah,
that
no,
producer, you find that extra member, that's a home run. Not a lot of people can really take that relationship to the next level. Some bands have a long period of time in finding that producer. Like a Danny
yeah,
River has Andrew Wade. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to
mhm.
like find that person. Our producer moved to California, Bruce. Love you, Bruce. But
Yeah,
like fuck, like he did his
yeah,
dirty. He did his dirty. I did it for him. He's doing so well out there. I'm so stoked for him. But it's just like now we have to find a producer, and we're at Freightbox recording, so it's good. Like I love Bobby. He's the shit. So I think we might have found our guy. But
yeah,
thankfully, you guys found your guy. It's just something that doesn't come around too easily.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like, so like when we went back to Rob, so like we did Too Afraid to Say with him, and then we did these new songs with him too. So like coming back was like even better because like now we were familiar with him. We know like how we are with each other. So um, that made it like 20 times better. But I'll admit, Rob, he's got a tough exterior. Like to get to know him and like to make him laugh is like really hard.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you guys told us that. I think someone from your band was like the first person to mention that, or
It might have
someone
been
I know.
Anthony. It might have been
I don't
Anthony. Yeah, we were like trying. We were having a good time. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it was hard to make that guy laugh for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like like once like we got to know him, and we're familiar with him, that it was way better. But yeah, he's a great guy, and he's just really good what he does. He has an awesome ear, and is really creative, and like I think he just kind of like he knows what we're looking for,
Mm-hmm.
and before we even realized it, like I guess we didn't really like. I still don't think we've like found our sound yet, but I guess when the songs come to life, they're really like, wow, like this is what I was thinking of. So yeah, it's been great. I think we'll like finish off with more songs with him, and then we'll see what happens. We're totally open to work with other people, but like right now, it's like there's no reason for us not to. It works well. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah,
So
exactly, exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
so it's been good.
No, that's good. I mean, when we had our time with him when we were recording some demos, literally Poeta's luck. I mean, the power went out the day of recording, so
Oh
we
my
couldn't even stay
god,
the night. Like he was gonna let us chill in the upstairs attic, and he's like, "Dude, like you guys aren't gonna have any
this is
power.
not gonna
Like if you
happen.
guys want, I mean, you're in Jersey. You guys can go home. You're not too far." Because we pulled it into a weekender. Speaking of weekenders, like you guys had to bail on your weekender too, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long was that? I think it was like 4 days, 5 days, or
Yeah,
something.
it wasn't too many dates. So in comparison to a lot of other people, it wasn't that bad.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it sucks. But um, the good thing is, it was like it's places that we play a lot. They're local spots. I think it was obviously it was Jersey, like New York City, Philly, and like Delaware or something.
Hmm.
So like these are all places that we play a lot in general. So I know we're gonna get back to them.
Hmm.
I think it would be a lot worse if they were like new cities or new states or anything. But these are places that I know. Like when we canceled it, I was like, "Don't worry, like we will reschedule this. It'll be very easy because we come around here a lot."
Hmm. Yeah, you guys are branching out regionally, like which is good. And you
Yeah,
guys have been there before. Like I was supposed to stop by at the fire and I couldn't get the chance to because I had to do something with Poeta. But I mean, you're doing the right steps into taking into consideration like where you want to tour to branch out like after the local scene. Like once you're done the local scene, you branch out to the regional scene, then you do a coast, then you start heading out. For our case, Midwest. So I
yeah,
mean, like that's like the right things to do. And in the meantime, it was a domino effect. Everything got out of control so fast. Not out of control. I want to say something different. Not really out of control. It was just like more so unexpected that everything just happened like within a snap of a finger, like you said previously, overnight. It's just something
Yeah.
that, we all followed, the protocols of how we had to go about this. So, you know,
Yeah,
it
because
affected everybody.
I feel like at first there was just like everyone was really skeptical, which is understandable when things like this happen. Like your first, if it's like fight or flight, like your first thing is like, well, like I'm gonna like think about this, like what's going on. But yeah, it literally felt like we woke up one morning and then it was like, you know, total like shutdown, like everyone panic and like right now, like I'm an essential worker, so
God
I
bless you.
was.
Yeah. How's that been going, by the way? Is it
uh
stressful?
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been right now. It's not bad,
Okay,
but
good.
when
You're not
when
getting
everything,
harassed, right? Like, because I've seen some
no,
bad viral videos where they're yelling at grocery store clerks or
it
just in
definitely
general. Like,
happens. It definitely happens. But it's been it's been pretty mild the
okay,
past few weeks.
good,
There like minus like there's like different protocols and stuff, but no, right now it hasn't been bad.
good.
I think, but I think it's just because everyone's getting used to it.
Hmm.
I feel like the worst part about it was just like the panic ensuing and just like you literally like absorb that energy, from other people and you could be fine, but then you're just surrounded by everyone, being scared and you're like, I'm scared too.
Yeah, we're all in this
Uh,
together. Like,
yeah, exactly. So, um, I like when it was first happening, I was really unsure and I was thinking about like taking a leave and like not coming in. Um, but in the end, I made my final choice to keep working, and
mhm.
that's what I've been doing.
No,
So,
thank you for doing that.
um,
I mean, you don't, nobody's, putting a gun to your head and saying, "Hey, I need you to come to work." Like, you're just doing it for the fact of. So, I appreciate it.
yeah, thank
I'm
you.
sure other people
Yeah,
appreciate it.
it's tough, but fortunately, I feel like like right now it's like definitely not at its worst. Um,
Hmm.
for me personally, I'm only speaking for myself. Everyone's
Hmm.
different. Everyone's in their own situation. Um, but yeah, so I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, it's gonna.
I'm
Yeah,
hoping.
we're. It seems like we're coming down to the wire with this maybe being over by midsummer. It seems
Yeah.
like. It seems like. I mean, they're opening the beaches for Memorial Day weekend, so we'll see how everybody behaves.
Yeah, I know.
Let's
I hope
see.
everyone behaves.
Yeah, well, that's
I
the.
hope everyone's smart.
I say that because it sounds like every time I turn on TV, we're being talked to like we're children. I'm like, okay, we gotta wear masks and we gotta stay safe. I mean, they're not wrong. We're trying to prevent this from getting any worse than it could be. So, but
Yeah.
it feels like
You
they're
know.
talking to us like slow and one word at a
Yeah.
time kind of thing. I'm like, come on, like we get it. Well, some people don't, so that's okay.
Yeah. Like I kind of referenced it as like when you were like in elementary school and there was like that one kid who would do something bad and then everyone would like miss out on recess because of that one kid like
Yep.
screwing it up for everybody. Like that's what this feels like, like most people are following the rules and doing what they're supposed to, but it's those few bad apples that ruin it for everybody else and then make it seem like, no one's following the rules. It's like a lot of people are, but it's that percent of people that aren't listening and they literally are ruining it for everybody
I
else
know they are.
and just putting everyone in danger, so
Yeah.
it's not cool, but
Our timeout's gonna
um
last a lot longer than it already is. What the fuck?
yeah.
There's only 327 million people in the United States of America. So like, fuck it. That one, where is that one person out of that bunch? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's somewhere. I don't know where, but there's somewhere.
Yeah, it's weird times.
It's
Weird
weird, but
time.
we're hopefully this finally starts to coming to an end. I also wanted to talk to you something about that I'm thoroughly interested in because like I said to you before, like I think this is like it's a really sweet aesthetic. Like you have this Instagram account called Journal by Jenna. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's so appealing to my eyes when I first look at like what you put into these individual pages that you're doing. But I
Yeah.
mean, I get a chance to read them as well, and I get the whole concept of it. And it's something I've never really seen before. It's kind of
Thank
cool.
you.
I wish it's like one of those things that's like when I was addicted to Tumblr for a little bit. I'm like, oh, like I'd follow that page immediately or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it
Good
was
old
just
Tumblr.
it's addicting because you keep pushing it out there. So like what like I just want you to like kind of open up about it so I can chime in on it because I think it's fucking sick. So like,
Thank
how did
you.
you start that? Like, what was did you want to get like some of the just put your words on paper and then put it into an artistic form kind of way?
Yeah, it's kind of different every time. So, um, I've always been someone who, like, I'm just addicted to buying journals and notebooks and stationery and paper. Like, that stuff just gets me excited. I don't know why, but I really like it.
Well, people relate to
And
that. I can tell you that right now.
yeah,
I know people that do that all the time.
yeah.
Like you walk
Okay,
into
so all
Office
right,
Max and you
sounds good.
smell that and you're like, oh, the sticky
Yeah,
notes.
like
Like,
this is a fresh notebook. I need it, even
yeah.
though I have 20 at home. Um, yeah, so that was always a thing about me, and I've been like really conflicted artistically, visually, because it is something I like to do, but I was kind of just like I'm trying to like I guess find like what like I'm meant for in like visual art, which might sound a little silly, um, but I don't know. It's something that like I've been trying to like craft, and I've been trying so many different mediums and different materials to make art, and it just felt kind of natural. I was like, well, I have all these journals, and I already have a bunch of drawings in them and collages and stuff like that. Um, so I was like, I'm just gonna kind of do this casually or whatever, and um, I started just making pages, and I ended up stumbling across like there's a whole like journaling community like on
Really?
Instagram, and
I
it's
had no
all
idea.
yeah. So like because there's like a few different like forms of it. There's people that do like bullet journaling, which is like organization and planning and stuff like that. There's people like me that it's like kind of like art journaling and collaging and fun things of that nature.
Yeah, I'm like
Um,
looking at it right now because the one says
oh,
it's practicing the art of pressing flowers and plants, and it's just like I don't know what kind of plant that is. I think it's your one, two, three, four, five, six, seventh picture. By the way, if anybody's
oh,
so it's Instagram. The Instagram tag is journal by Jenna Jenna. But you're pressing plants in this one. It's just so fascinating. It's so. And then where do you get these clip arts from? Like it seems like you're just cutting them out of magazines and like relating them to what you're artistically creating in that
yeah.
page,
So
right?
there's a bunch of different avenues that it can take. I'm trying to incorporate drawing a little bit more because I just want to get better at it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a lot of it is just snipping up magazines and just pictures that I like. Um, but like then I was kind of having second thoughts about it because I was like, well, like I think this would be like even more meaningful if I was like going out and taking like photos myself and doing things like that. So like one of the pages I had like a Polaroid of like me and things like that. But yeah, overall the project is really just something like I said, I'm really just trying to find like my creative self, and it's really been torturing me. Like I really don't know what it is or like what I'm meant to do or like
Mm-hmm.
I guess what I'm good at in terms of art because for a long time my artistic expression was music.
Mm-hmm.
And art was always something that I like to do, but like I felt like there was a part of me that I was like I know I'm meant to do something with my hands, and I'm trying to figure it out. So I started the journal page, and I wanted to kind of like do it casually, because like I haven't updated it in like I think a week and a half or whatever. But like I'm kind of just doing it like as I go, and um, but it's one of those things I have no idea what it's going to turn into. It could grow into something that like becomes my everyday thing, or it can be something that like on to the next project because I definitely bounce around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because like one of the other things, like I'm trying to do embroidery now. Like I'm just like
Ooh.
there's so many different art projects that I love doing. So um, I'm just trying not to limit myself. Like the plan for the journals, like I'm always going to be journaling no matter what. I guess it's just like if I'm going to present them or not.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's just I'm just trying to kind of find my creative path or self, I guess, and it takes a lot of just doing whatever. And the nice thing about journaling is there's really no rules. You do whatever the heck you want in it. If you show someone, you do. If you don't want to show them, you don't.
Right.
So it's fun. I honestly I recommend it for anyone because you just cut up things, paste them. Think about color and space and how you're going to align everything, and it's fun because like, you can make a message out of it too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so yeah, like where it goes, I have no idea. But it's been fun so far, and um, you know, my journal is so instrumental, or like it's so important to like my mental health, and especially, you know, like I have my journals that I just write in, you know, about my day or what's going on in my head, and those are so important, and like I do them so much more often now. Um, so so yeah, it's been fun, but we'll see what it turns into. It's just it's one of those creative kind of outlets that I'm trying to explore, and especially right now with so much more free time, I'm like I want to do everything, you know.
Yeah,
So
seriously. Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I mean, like, I can only play my drum set, for so long before,
yeah,
I need to
you know
find
what
something
you
else
do
to
you think?
do. Yeah, I wanted to
Oh,
start this
hang on, I'm gonna
podcast like
turn on the
earlier,
lights.
so that was like that, and I was like, now I guess it's a good time. You know what I mean?
Sorry, what was that? I had to turn on the lights.
Oh no,
It's
you're
getting dark.
good. No, you're good. No, because then I thought to myself, I was like, why don't I just do the podcast now, considering I have time to do that.
Yeah.
Plus, Kevin Lyman like reached out. Well, I reached out to him and he got back after I think I messaged him in September. He's like, yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. I'm like, I'm
It
just gonna
sparked it.
pull
Yeah.
the trigger. Let's go. Like, let's see where this goes. And I kind of like it. This is pretty interesting. Like, it's nice,
Yeah.
like talking to industry professionals such as yourself. That's relatable. Um, and just carry on with the conversation. I don't know. I just
Yeah.
to hope and to for someone to maybe take a lesson from it. I think that's like the ultimate goal is
Yeah.
when someone takes a a tune in or something. I don't know, but this is
Yeah.
yeah. But that's something that like I don't know. It caught my eye when you announced it on your original profile on Instagram. Again, it's Instagram at Journal by Jenna. Dude, like it's just I don't know. It's just one of those things that like I wish I could be that creative. I can doodle. I can fucking do cartoons, like small stuff. I don't know if and like graphic design, like Photoshop, Illustrator, blah blah blah.
Hmm.
Small stuff, like average stuff. Like my buddy Kyle made this overlay for me, so shout out to him. And it's something that I tried to, you know, when I get the time to do it, I will. But I wish I had some of that artistic creativity. I'm just good at counting to
It's
4 and listening to a BPM. So I'm pretty good at it
yeah.
so far.
Hey, I wish I could do that. I wish I could play drums.
It's
I feel like I could, but I'm totally someone, you know, and part of the reason why my whole like, you know, finding my like artistic, you know, journey or whatever, part of the reason it's so hard is because I hate practicing. I hate practice so
really,
much.
really.
Yeah. So like I'm just like I'd start something new and I'm like, why am I not good at this? It's like, oh, it's because it's your first 5 minutes ever doing it. Like I'm such an idiot with stuff like that. But
Now I'm the same way sometimes too.
yeah, trying new things, you know, like it's all about experimenting, and like you're never gonna know if you will like it or not unless you try it. And then if
Hmm.
you don't like doing it, then it's like, all right, I never have to do it again. I found out, and now I can try something new, you know. Um, but yeah, it's just that journal is one of those things that I'm just like I'm just gonna try to be, you know, like free minded about it and just go in and make stuff, and if it comes out ugly,
Hmm.
whatever, you flip the page and you try it again, you know. Um, so yeah, it's just it's fun because you know you can fill it with mistakes and you can still kind of make it look good, like it looks like it makes sense. Um, but like you know, a journal is just meant for whatever the heck you want, and that's what I keep telling myself because I'll make stuff and I'm like, this is so ugly. Like I don't want to post this anywhere. Like this doesn't fit what I've done, you know.
Nah.
Um, and it's just you know I gotta get in my head and tell myself like you're like I'm doing this, you know, for me. Like you know I'm just creating is what I like to do, and sometimes it's really hard.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
but I know that it's so you know important to just me, and it's always been a part of me. So I'm just always experimenting, you know, like we'll see where it goes. As far as the like the journaling, the ones I've been having really fun with, I've been taking like the fortune cookie papers
Oh, I saw that
and
one.
like
Yeah.
collaging. You know, like I really like doing that because like I can kind of, you know, it has the message there already and I'm building around it.
Oh,
Um,
that's cool.
so
Yeah.
so I really like those. I think I might honestly like kind of focus on those, but I need to order more takeout to get more the fortune cookies so I can use them. But because those ones were ones I had saved like for years. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've had fortunes that like just like meant a lot to me, and I kept in a little like jewelry box thing that I had. And
Mm-hmm.
once I started this, I was like, this is the time. Like they're gonna get their use. They're not gonna just sit in a box. But now I'm gonna keep all of them. Like it was just convenient. Those ones spoke to me, so I kept them. But now, like if I get fortune cookies, I'm taking everyone's fortunes. I'm like, sorry, I need these for art. I'm gonna take them now.
That's so cool. I don't know. I mean, maybe you can kind of relate them to some of the merchandise the Once You Forgot sells, and kind of
Yeah,
implement that. Because you guys
yeah,
have
that could totally
have
be an
great
option.
merch. You never know. I don't know. I mean, not like your personal book, like, but maybe something that I'm just like brainstorming right now because like that's something
Yeah,
like I would eat up. Like it would like that's inspiring to me to start journaling. So like if you guys sell journals or something like, that'd be
I would
something
love to
fucking
do
cool,
that.
dude. You guys should do that. Matty T,
That would be
Bird,
awesome.
Justin, Lance. You guys should start.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I'm just
tell
suggesting.
them.
I'm just suggesting. Just suggesting. I'm just
Yeah,
suggesting.
that would be awesome.
We
I
tried.
would love to do that.
Yeah, we tried doing some creative stuff when selling merchandise. I mean, the only thing I kind of came up with was like that very strange old '70s chest with LED lights around it that takes up a whole goddamn merch table. It's like I didn't
Oh
think this
yeah,
was gonna be a
that's
bad
sick
idea.
though.
Yeah, but it's I mean it attracts people like they're flies. They just fucking just shoot right into it. Like,
This is
oh, this is
cool.
what is in here, and you're like, oh, I have to pay for this. Okay, I'll just look at it.
Oh,
I'll
never
just.
mind. I'm good. Yeah. It looks cool though.
Hey, it
Like,
looks
thanks.
cool. Yeah, yeah, that's all that matters. Yeah, we've co-headlined and opened up for you guys. I think twice, and then we've played a couple shows. Um,
It's been a
After
handful of
that,
times for sure.
yeah, like 4 or 5 times. My favorite was honestly the clubhouse. It was so intimate. Like everybody
I
was
mean,
like right there at the
yeah,
Halloween show. That was pretty fucking cool.
yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Jimmy from the clubhouse in New Jersey, dude. I can't wait for him to open that
I
venue back
know.
up. Oh my god, dude, he's killing it. This is the
Yeah.
community that we need to build around. Like this is I've been talking about this for a while. I'm very thankful that in New Jersey, like it's not the Ones You Forgot. It's not bands like Serious Matters. It's not bands like Poeta. It's not bands like What Sales Ahead. It's everybody. It's not bands
Everyone.
like
Yeah.
Chris Russo. Like everybody is together in this community, and we're
Hmm.
slowly building it. And it that's how you get people in the industry like that.
Yeah.
You everybody comes out and sees everybody play their set, gives like their friends to come out that are not like that are kind of into music, and everybody supports everybody, and just
Hmm.
kind of like continues to push the boundaries with after a certain amount of time you're releasing new music and everybody kind of grows with you in a sense like that's a lot of local scenes have been lost over the years because of that. I'm
Yeah.
surprised Jersey has something like that. I was really fortunate to walk into that scene with you guys. Like it feels like it's been around forever.
Yeah. What I feel like what happened was so like we started playing shows like late 2014. Um and I kind of felt like, the local bands I was familiar with before, TOYF started, there was like a lot of bands breaking up or like things were happening. So like I kind of felt like we joined the scene at like a rebirth period where like a lot of new bands were kind of starting and a lot of the veterans were either like moving on or starting new bands or whatever. So I feel like we joined at a time where it was kind of like, like kind of like a renaissance thing where like everyone was starting back up again. And we I didn't know anyone
Mm-hmm.
other than the four dudes in my band. I didn't know anyone in the scene, like,
Yeah, seriously.
so other than like people that I would like see at shows and like bump into, and I was just friendly with them because I'm like, oh, like I saw you at Starland that one time or whatever. Other than that, I knew no one in the scene. So like to start with like a lot of bands at the same time and get to know them and grow with them has been really cool. But yeah, New Jersey is really good with that, and especially being so close to Asbury Park. Asbury Park is a very tight knit community. But like a cool thing with the clubhouse, in Tom's River, like that's an area where there's like no venues,
Mm.
like nowhere to play unless you want to play at like like a restaurant or something like. So where he put that venue, it was like perfect because it was all these shows that really didn't have like I guess a proper place because of location. you know, it made so much sense. I'm glad, really glad he did it, because especially like when it was like the beach club and everything, like I loved that
Nah,
place.
me too.
You
Yeah,
know?
it was fucking rad.
Like every show was free. Every show was always packed.
Yep,
You know, like
packed with
it
people.
just, and then like we would all go to the diner after. Like it was fun, and I'm so thankful for those being like early memories in the band, because I think that's what really like made me like want to, you know, keep doing it, was just the sense of community. Um, so yeah, it's been really good, just, you know, meeting so many different people. And um, I love Jersey, so
Yeah, Jersey's pretty.
you know, a lot of people talk shit about New Jersey, but I will
Ah,
say that
that's all
I
right.
love it.
Dirty
So
Jersey. You guys have a pretty cool hockey team. I'll give it to you. The Devils.
yeah, that's what I
That's
like to
about it.
hear.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a Flyers fan through and through, Philly fan through and through, but
Yeah, I know, I
I
know.
think the Devils are a pretty badass team. Like New Jersey Nets, which they're not. It's Brooklyn now. It's like, nah, I don't know. But it's like New Jersey
Yeah,
Devils. I'm like, it's pretty fucking badass. Kind
our
of
only
like that
team.
franchise
Yeah,
just by the name
yeah,
and shit. And going back to what you just said, I'm trying to figure out how to word this, but you're basically in a very you're in a very small demographic where you're the only female vocalist or the female member of your band, so say band, and there's
yeah.
only a certain amount of bands like that I know of personally, which is with Sales Ahead with Sierra, Haley Williams from Paramore, and Lauren from Sharptooth. Fucking, they just released new music videos, so sick. If anybody wants to
Yeah.
check them out, she kind of like puts a parody on all of the pop, you know, culture, female leaders like Lady Gaga and Katy Perry and shit. They did a fantastic
Oh,
job. Yeah, it looks great. But Haley came out with a article. I'm gonna try to pull it up right now. She came out with an art. Well, she didn't come out with this article. She interviewed with or Note to Scene came out with this article that Haley Williams was explaining that um, the pop punk and the emo scenes in the early 2000s, it was brutally misogynistic, a lot of internalized sexism, and even when you were lucky enough to meet other bands who were kind of respectful, there was other shit that wasn't, and I was really feisty. And that's when she was on Warped Tour when she was a young age. I mean, it's something that isn't really talked about much, but have you experienced, I mean, because she comes from, as one of our idols, you and I, but have you ever
yeah.
experienced anything in the industry that relates to any kind of like unfortunate like harassment in any way, shape, or form because you're a female? I
Yeah.
think it's fucking ridiculous, but it's just one of those things that I don't personally believe it's talked about enough. And I'm glad Haley's starting to say something about it. So that's why I
Yeah.
kind of wanted to get in, kind of like know your experience with it personally.
Yeah, for sure. So, um, for one, I can say, um, I've been pretty fortunate in comparison to a lot of stories that I've heard and things that I've witnessed, you know, happen to other people that are terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been pretty lucky, but you know, it literally happened from day one on our first show. Like it was like no time wasted at all. So, um, you know, the Ones You Forgot's the only band that I've ever been in
Mm-hmm.
ever. So we played our first show, and already right off the bat, I'm scared out of my mind because I had major stage fright at the time and everything. And this dude comes up to interview us, which we're like, oh my God, like we're so excited. You know, it's our first show. We have no idea what we're doing. And we're like, this guy wants to interview us. Oh my God. So like we start talking to him, and right off the bat, this guy was like just making like really gross like comments towards me. And um, he's like asking me things like, oh, like who in the band are you dating? Like all this stuff. And I'm like, what does this have to do with anything, you know? And it was like, I was like in shock when it happened because, you know, one, this is our first show ever. And I was like,
Welcome
I've
to the
heard of things.
industry. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I've heard of these things happening to people before, but at the time I was like, I didn't know, like, I didn't expect it was going to happen to me 5 minutes into us like walking into the first venue that we've ever played. It was like, I didn't know how to react. And it's, you know, but I was young. So I'm like, now I'm like, if the same situation happened, I would handle it a lot differently and a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it was like right off the bat, first show ever, these things started happening. And like I said, I've been like really fortunate. Like I, like just in so many of the things that I've heard and I've witnessed and seen other people deal with. I've been so lucky that I haven't had to deal with these things, but it's like, you know, I just get a lot of just like typical like ignorance, and just like, you know, like Caleb was saying, internalized misogyny and everything like that. A lot of people, I feel like, don't realize what they're saying.
Right. Yeah, because
like
someone made a comment to her when she was like not even legal of age. She was, I think, 16 or 17 when she was on World Tour, and they were talking about her genitals, like making a joke, and she saw red.
yeah,
Like, what the fuck are you, dude? Relax,
it's
dude. Like,
and
you know what I
the
mean?
fact that it's coming from adults too, and like
That's the
she's
problem.
literally a kid. It's just is yeah, it's disgusting. But you know, like I would get a lot of the stuff, you know, like I was saying, like general ignorance. Like I would walk in and they're like, "Oh, you're obviously like doing merch. You can't possibly be in the band." Like,
It
I
fucking pumps me,
there's
bitch.
been times where like, one time specifically, like, we were playing at a venue that was 21 plus, and we had reached out prior to the venue, and we're like, "Oh, like some of us are under 21. Like, is this okay? Can we still play?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's fine." And we get there, and like the security guard's like, "You can't come in here." He's like, "You're not 21." I was like, "The venue said it was okay," and he's like, "No, you can't." And I was like, "All right." I was like, "I guess we're not playing then." He's like, "Oh yeah, you're good." And I'm like, wow, is it like really like a shock that I could be in a band? You know, like that's what I'm saying. It's just like the ignorance that people like like why is it such like a surprise that like, yeah, I'm a musician. If I was a dude saying like, yeah, I'm going in, like it wouldn't be
We
a
would have walked
question.
right in. Yeah, I'd be like, you know, I'd be like, oh, you're 21. I'm in the band. That doesn't matter. Like, no, you can't fucking.
Yeah,
You have to kind of play the, especially if like, you know, it is a 21 and over show. Like, ask more questions than like saying ignorantly like, nah, like your beat. Like, I
yeah.
don't
It was like,
care.
you know,
You know
come
what
in
you
here.
say.
I was like, oh, so like it's okay if like they come in, you know. Like I try not to get too angry about it.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, like a lot of the stuff I've dealt with has just been on that scale, just like silly conversations. Like we played venues where like, you know, I'm walking in with the entire band, you know, we're walking into like backstage and I'm the only one who gets stopped
Mm-hmm.
out of like the four other guys I'm walking with. I'm the one that it's like you're in question, you know. It's just it's silly little things that don't have to happen,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, you know, a major thing that could help these kinds of situations is, you know, just like educating people and really getting it through their heads that like, you know, women exist in music and there's a lot of them,
Yeah,
you
Jesus
know.
Christ. Or
Like,
as fans in general, like, can we just fucking take that into consideration? Can we just take this on in consideration that we're all in this community together, in this industry
yeah,
together? Like, whether you're the fan, the promoter, the, you know, the tour manager, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, what skin, color, race, gender. Like, come on, dude. Like,
yeah,
let's just let's just fucking do this together. So I'm glad, you know, she's going out there and kind of like putting it into a perspective because this way it can kind of make a more comfortability to talk about it. But not only that, maybe people can, as a community, we can sit back and take it and be like, you know what? Let's take a let's step
there's
this
a
up.
problem here.
Yeah, there's a problem. Let's step this up because there was one incident where I was at a show. I didn't do this personally, but so there was it was Devil Wears Prada's Dead Throne tour that just released, and like a teenager just like
Hmm.
it was her first show. Her dad was there and everything too, and she had been like 15, 16, whatever.
Yeah.
And where he was like, "Oh, my daughter wants to fucking," and he was like, they were kind of like the same height. It was really strange, but he was like, "Let's throw up and crowd surf." I was like, "All right." So me and a couple other dudes just like one like grab put on the feet, one,
Yep.
two, three, throw them up
Throw up.
having a good time, and then you know some people get a little feisty in not a positive way when chicks are crowd surfing. So we saw
Yeah.
it, and the one bigger dude, I don't know who the fuck he was, but he saw someone do, you know, grab her in an inappropriate way, and he just went up and beat and just punched him right in the back of the head, and
Good.
nothing happened. But it's just something that
Dude, it's happened to
let's.
me before. In crowds at shows, like I've totally been grabbed in places I should not have been touched. Like it happens before, you know? So and when it does, you're literally just like, what the hell do I do? You
Right.
know? So yeah, it happens a lot, and it happens a lot more than people realize because, a lot of people are afraid to bring it up, afraid to talk about it for, a whole different array of reasons why they don't want to talk about it. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and in regards to like being like a woman in a band, I I always considered like Hayley Williams to kind of be like a trailblazer in that aspect because like because she was brought up in like in a time of music, where these things were like considered okay, like no one questioned these kinds of situations, which really sucks. And like I was saying, I feel like she's a trailblazer because like her speaking up about these things, and especially when she did when she was young, and like some of the things that she was like exposed to and had to deal with, especially when she was so young and like didn't know like what to do, like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's at her most
like
vulnerable
no
point.
one should have to go through that, but
No.
it's because of people like her who have been in it and know what it's like and can say, whatever it is they say about it, them speaking up about it is lighting the way and continuing the conversation and also making things, I think, a little easier for people like me, like I'm definitely obviously in a different generation than her. Like I'm 23 and she's in her 30s, I believe. So like a lot of women my age were directly inspired by her because, that band was just killing it. And, there were so many things that, especially when you're young, like you don't know these things happen. And then when I was thrown in myself and, day one, there's already people saying these things to me. I'm like, it's like, you're like, I'm like, I knew this was real, but once it happened to me, I was like, okay, like, it's, like it came to life,
Yeah,
and
immediately. Like literally your first show. Your first fucking show. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but like I said, I've really been fortunate. I don't have many horror stories. Most of them are things I just roll my eyes at. But, and the like one of the best parts too is I know I have 4 guys in my band who will
up for you.
Will stay by my side no matter what. So, and they know how I feel about these things, so, that really helps. But like, I don't know, like in the end, it's like, as far as like my band, like I just want to be a person in a band. I don't want to stick out like, like a sore thumb. Like I don't, like people believe I don't belong here. Like I belong here just as much as anyone else,
And you've proven that, like through and through. You know what I mean? Like you guys were on the Warped Tour. I mean, you guys have persevered through everything that local bands can't even get to. Like you guys have past step 3 where you guys are all like on the verge of selling out shows at like major venues. Like these bands don't understand what the work ethic takes, and obviously you guys have the right to say that you've done it. So like,
thank you.
Yeah, you have a whole community that's like backing that, which is awesome.
I think every musician knows that like this industry is not for like the faint of heart. Like you're literally told no all the time.
All the time.
And when you're a woman, you're told no even more.
Yeah, if not twice, like 10 times more. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like so. It's rolling with the punches. It's, I guess, when I'm in situations like that, I try to turn it into a learning experience for the other person. Though it's not my job to do that, I do it personally because I feel like, like I said, a lot of the times it's just ignorance and they just don't, like, I don't know what you're not understanding, but because I firmly believe, like, for the most part, like, you don't have to be angry to get your message across. But then it gets to a point where you just, there's every reason you should be angry. And, like, it's kind of situational, but, I believe that just conversation and normalizing these things, like, normalizing the fact that women exist in music and it's not weird.
No.
We're here. We've been here the whole time, like, I don't know. Like, it's like the thing where people, like, we talk about, like, the whole female fronted thing. Like, I think it's so silly, like, saying that because it's like, you don't call bands with guys male fronted
bands. Why does it have to be?
Like, it just sounds so silly, It's just like, it's a weird, one of those weird things where, like, this doesn't make any sense. Why is, like, why are people still doing this?
Yeah, but to identify a band as a female-fronted band, it's like, okay, so you didn't even get a chance to listen to music yet. Why don't you listen to music and just like judge for yourself? Because someone's gonna listen. Like, no offense, Kellen. I mean, like, I'm sure he's heard it before, but like, if I put on a Sleep with Siren song, and my friend's like, "Damn, that chick's pretty good," I'm like, "Nah, it's not a chick. It's a dude." Well, chicks are dudes too. I say everybody's a dude. I reference that from Keenan and Kel, so it doesn't matter. But but yeah, it's one of those things that I don't. It's not going anywhere. Why isn't why female fronted bands like that doesn't make you like that shouldn't even like have a thought.
It's not any different.
It's not.
Yeah,
That makes there's just no sense. Yeah, it's literally just a band. It's called The Ones You Forgot. Articled up. You can see the promos. You can see you can hear the music. Like to identify as anybody fronted. All right. So what if you're like, what if you're, what is it? All That Remains. Their bass player's a chick. So it's like, do you know what I mean? Like, what do you say? Like, All That Remains, chick, female bass player, female bass player, isk, All That Remains. Fuck off, dude. Like, can't we just be a fucking band? Can't we just all be together in this? I don't know.
It's. I understand where it stemmed from because like I think it's a good term in like if you're highlighting women.
True.
But it can also be used derogatory, like this female-fronted band. I don't like female-fronted bands. Like, what do you mean? Like, what does the girl being in front have to do with you hating an entire genre of music that technically does not exist? It's not a genre at all.
No.
It's silly, and like I didn't always feel that way. For the beginning of our bands, like I embraced that term, and then people change and those kinds of things, and then I started seeing the other side of it, and I'm like, I don't want the reason, like, the focus of my music to be
on
my gender, like some people do, and and that's fine. There's whole movements based around that. That's awesome. But I feel like it's all kind of like a personal choice thing, like that I personally am like, I just want to be looked at like everyone else that you respect in music, like. Because I'm like deserving of respect.
Yeah,
too,
exactly.
Yeah, like,
and you've earned that respect.
It shouldn't be any different as long as you're not hurting anyone. You're a responsible human being, and you're accountable, and just being a good person. Then you're totally deserving of respect in not even just this industry, but just in life in general.
I think we just need to speak up more, just in it, like not with like the context that it's in, like within the moment, within the present. I think like let's just I've been doing it too. Like, hey, just say something. Like some people don't even mean to. Some people obviously intentionally say things or do things.
But that's what I'm saying. Ignorance, a lot of it is just like that. It comes out, and then they're like, oh, like now that you mention it, that sounds really bad. Like a lot of people just don't get it.
No, they don't get it.
But and it's all a learning experience because I could admit that when I was younger, I had internalized misogyny myself. Like, there were women I didn't like for no reason at all, and it's stupid, and it should have never been like that, But I was young, and in light of new information, you grow up, you learn, you have experiences, and I'm still learning every day. Everyone is learning to be better at not even just these kinds of situations, but just life, So that's why I think just like you're saying, like having conversation and talking about it, that's such an important way to get through to people who don't understand these things. And and if you walk away from that and they learn something, they're going to be it just like can only help, but at the same time it's like if you're in a situation and you're a girl and you dealt with something, like it's not your job to make sure this person goes on because they did something shitty to you, but within your power, like if you can handle in that situation, be like, hey, that's not cool. I'm going to tell you why. You might be able to help prevent that person from doing it to someone else, and like you said, like it's like, it's not your job to do that, but it can certainly help. And, it's all about growth, because how you felt about something, years ago, you could be totally different on it. And that doesn't make you like like two-sided or like, you know, two-faced or anything. It's just like, you know, like I'm growing and I'm learning new things, and in this situation specifically, it's like I'm learning how to be respectful to myself and to other people and everyone around me, um, and I've always been like such a like believer in like, if someone's doing something and like it is not like hurting you or hurting anybody in any way, like just let them do it, let them enjoy it, you know, like there's no reason to hate, you know.
Yeah, hate
But
in general is a really, it's more powerful than people make it to seem to be. It's like, nah, you can strongly dislike something or somebody, but hate is just very, it's very one, like it's something that you can't really see other perspectives of. Like if it's like,
yeah,
I hate that type of breed of dog. It's like, do you even know fucking how cute a pit bull is when they're trained correctly? Like you should never say you hate pit bulls, because you don't know. If you hate a pit bull, then you don't even know what a pit bull like is, and it's like personal.
yeah,
It's personal. Like each dog's different. I'm just using that as an example, but it's like, I think that the first step is just to say something in the present. That way, it can, like, in a healthy way, like a very
yeah,
collaborative way, where it's like, hey man, that's not cool, blah blah blah. Right? I'm sorry. But when it's
yeah.
intentional, where someone's a scumbag, just beat the shit out of them. No, I don't condone that. Don't listen to what I just said. But I mean, I saw someone do that, and that was really refreshing. I was like, good, fuck that piece of shit. Yeah, some people need to
Yeah,
get their ass kicked.
well, thank you for, you know, personally taking your own steps to do things like that, because, you know, it's, you know, like I don't know, like, how it is, you know, being, like, you know, on the other side of it all, but, you know, just for you to go out of your way and, like, to bring these things up, because, like, it could be unfamiliar territory or it could not be, but, it definitely helps to have more people, you know, on the side of this thing, and just trying to let it be known, you know, that, like I said, like, women are in music, women are in science, women are in politics, women are in this and that. You know, women are
And
everywhere.
everywhere, just as much
You
as men
know,
are.
and
Half the
it should,
population is women. Half the population is
yeah,
men.
it should never be weird to you that a woman is doing a certain thing, because if a man can do it, then, like, you know, why can't a
Yeah,
woman?
times
But
are changing. I have a
but
lot.
yeah,
Yeah, it's an education that people need to be involved with, and I still have a lot to learn. Personally, that I dive into every day. So I mean, it's just something. It's
I think
just,
that's
you know,
what we just talked about. That's what it's all about. Just
just getting an
learning
education.
and, you know, teaching yourself, and, you know, if you make mistakes along the way, like, you're actively trying to do something. So that's
It's like,
good.
literally in first grade they taught us the golden rule, like treat others like you would like to be treated.
Exactly. Yeah.
That stuck by me for my whole life. I don't, if for whatever way, for whatever reason, I was like, you're right. That is such a personal, positive message that just embedded in my head. I just try to treat everybody,
Yeah.
the
No,
way it's.
it's
Come on,
so
man.
important.
Yeah, like there's nothing
It,
wrong with dark sarcasm. I mean, if everybody's getting the context, but like
yeah.
everybody's
Yeah.
doing that.
It's just you want to have yourself, you know, in a good place, and just be nice, you know.
Yeah,
'Cause,
Jesus Christ, is it
well,
hard? Is it fucking that hard?
apparently.
Yeah, apparently to some people. Yeah, I know. But I appreciate you coming on. If you want to like throw out your socials real quick for everything, that way I can clip that as well and put that in the video. Just to let everybody know where you're
Yeah.
at.
So for me, everything is just Jenna Bruno. Um, on Twitter, it's Jenna_Bruno, but I don't really use Twitter that much, so don't worry about it. And
Oops,
then
that's
everything for the
my
band,
content. Sorry.
everything for the band is at the ones you forgot, except for Twitter is at TOYF Music.
Yeah, it's too long of a
You'll find
handle.
us on. Yeah, I know, it's by one character too.
Oh,
So stupid. Um, but yeah, you can find us all on there, and just you know, you can keep a lookout for new music and all those fun things, our Twitch streams, and um, yeah, thank you for having me, seriously, and having fun conversation, but also some pretty serious shit too.
yeah, seriously.
That
Yeah.
needs to be talked about, and Yeah, keep doing what you're doing. It was fun. I'm glad to be here.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. Also, at Journal by Jenna is on Instagram. We're not forgetting that one.
Oh
So.
yeah, forgot. See, I'm already like thinking about my embroidery.
Sorry,
I already
no,
forgot
no
about my
pressure,
journal.
no pressure, no pressure, no pressure. You guys
Yeah.
started posting more. Yeah. Fuck it. All right. Thank you
Okay,
guys for
let's
tuning
go.
in. I appreciate it. Thanks, Jenna. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
All right. Take care.